Welcome to this All You Need to Know About Traveling to St. Helena episode. We'll try to explain a little bit more how to travel there, where to stay, how to find the trails, and much more information about the island so your stay will be easier and be well prepared to stay on this very unique and isolated island. Your journey to St. Helena will start in Johannesburg, as this is the only airport that has a direct flight and the only flight basically to St. Helena. So you can have a look where the island is located. It's in the middle of Africa and South America in the South Atlantic Ocean. So the airport is built on a tabletop and there are cliffs on both sides. As a result, the runway is quite short. So you will fly in a smaller airplane to the island. The flights they leave from Johannesburg and they're operated by a company called Airlink from South Africa. They operate Embraer aircrafts. They fit about 100 passengers, I believe. So you will take off from Johannesburg, fly to Walvis Bay, which is in Namibia, and there you will refuel. So you will stay in the airplane. You will not leave the airplane. It just takes about 20-25 minutes. And then you will take off from Walvis Bay again, and you will fly to St. Helena. The airport of St. Helena is known for wind shear. Because of its location on a tabletop mountain and surrounding terrain, there are some varying winds around the thresholds of the runways. As a result, sometimes it's difficult for the airplanes to land. The pilots of the company that flies there are specially trained to fly to St. Helena, but nevertheless, it's possible that the winds are too strong and they're not able to land. As a result, of course, they have to take fuel to fly back to Africa or to Ascension Island. And this adds, of course, to the costs of the ticket, as the airline needs to take a lot of extra fuel on these flights. They need to train the pilots, and they, of course, have to have some contingency plans as well, in case the airplane is unable to land. I highly recommend, especially on the way back from St. Helena, to not book your connecting flight too close to your arrival time in Johannesburg. It's also recommended to book a flexible ticket. In case that your flight gets postponed, at least you can change your ticket for your onward flight from Johannesburg, as it does happen that the flight cannot land, and then basically it will be postponed for a few days or till the next day. The easiest way to book your ticket is go to the website of Airlink, which is flyairlink.com. Your journey will start in Johannesburg. They do not offer connecting flights, I believe, to St. Helena, at least not internationally. And you can choose Saturdays, and I believe from winter season there are also flights on Tuesdays. So you just choose your dates that you would like to travel. And as you can see from the calendar, from November, there is a flight on Tuesday as well. So it gives you more different options to travel to the island. And the way going will take you about 6 hours 25 because of the stop in Walvis Bay. On the return flight, 4 hours 45 because it's a direct flight. And as you can see, the prices are quite high, as expected. There are a lot of places to stay on the island, but the nicest place to stay, I would say, is the Mantis St. Helena Hotel, because it's the first luxury hotel on the island. You can book that on the Accor website because it's part of the Accor group, which is a French hotel group, I believe. So you can just type in your dates there, which you want to stay, and you will see which rooms are available for your stay. We stayed in a contemporary room and a heritage room. You can see both on our videos if you want to have a look how they look like. The heritage rooms are in the old building. The contemporary rooms are in the new building of the hotel, but they're a little bit smaller. Another way to book your stay on the island is Airbnb. There are some Airbnbs available. Of course, they are going to be cheaper than a hotel, and as you can see, there are some very nice options as well. So they're very beautiful stays also. Usually they are just self-catering units, but they're very nice. St. Helena has a beautiful tourism website, which is sthelenatourism.com. You can find a lot of stuff on this website. I'm not going to show everything, but it has a very nice map, which can show you different locations and can also help you to navigate on the island. When you click on top on Explore, you can see different things you can do on the island, walks, marine life, cloud forest, all kinds of stuff. So if you click, for example, on the hikes, you can see the different hikes. And you have some pictures sometimes, an explanation, how far it is, how long it will take, if it's uphill or downhill. Give some information. There are different websites you can find information about the trails, but this one is a good to start with. Then again, there is some other information you can find. For example, if you click on plan your trip, you can find information regarding the accommodations, flights, transport. If you click on accommodation, for example, you can see the different places to stay. So we stayed in the Mantis, which is the nicest hotel, I'd say, on the island, but you can choose to stay in bed and breakfast, other hotels, or just have a self-catering accommodation as well. There are some really nice accommodations on the island, other than Mantis as well. You can also check if you can rent a car. There are different owners that rent cars. We rented from Patrick Hire Drives. The only thing you have to be careful is if you send emails, sometimes if you copy an email into your email address, it doesn't copy properly. So make sure that when you reply or you send emails, the Saint Helena address doesn't always work. So make sure you put in the correct email. There's another interesting website, which is this one, sainthelena.island.info. It has a lot of information, probably the most you can find about the island. A lot of history information, some information regarding trails. I know the website is not very aesthetically looking with the green background, but if you're looking for some more history about the island or some of the more fun stories, ghost stories, all kinds of stuff, you can find them on this website. So it's also an interesting website to take a look. Um, yeah, have a look at it, I'd say. It has some very interesting stuff as well. Some of the trails are there, not all of them, but for example, Lemon Valley. If you click on it, you can have some more information. What is there to see? What was there? So it's a nice website as well. So to apply for a visa for Saint Helena, you can easily apply online. Not every nationality needs a visa to visit Saint Helena, but you can check on the website if your nationality does need a visa. So you can easily just fill in your country, and it will tell you if you need a visa, yes or no. In our case, we did have to apply for one of us for a visa, which did take about, I think, a month before we received the visa. It did take quite a while. We had to inquire as well regarding the status of the visa. I highly recommend to visit the frequently asked questions as well on this website. This part of the website gives you some information what documents are required and what size of photographs. So I highly recommend you to read this part first and then apply for the visa. One thing I'd like to add is that you need a health insurance, which I believe covers repatriation to a certain amount. It is really mandatory to have this, as before you board the flight, they will ask to see a copy of your insurance. So make sure you have that as well. Another thing I want to add is that if you need a visa to enter South Africa, you will have to have a multiple entry visa since you will be traveling to Johannesburg to take the flight. And of course, if you fly back, you will likely have to have a visa again to enter the country to check in for your next flight. You might be able to do it without, but I highly recommend to apply for a multi-entry visa then. Another website which was valuable to us was the St. Helena Airport website because it has a drone map. So if you plan to take your drone, you can take it to St. Helena. However, there are some areas you're not allowed to fly, and there is a very easy map that shows you where you are allowed to fly it, where you are not, and which areas you might need to require a permission before you can fly it. So now we're going to give you some tips when you're traveling to the island. First of all, when you arrive, there is a bank in the airport. Highly recommend you to exchange some money. You can exchange from US dollars, euros, South African rand, and I believe you can also use your card to get some money. The reason for this is if you arrive on a Saturday, the Bank of St. Helena will be closed, as well on Sunday, so it's better to exchange some money in the airport already. The next thing is SIM cards. You don't need a SIM card. We bought the SIM card. It's completely useless on the island. Many of the areas don't have reception. The 3G or it's not 3G, the internet basically doesn't really work. So don't waste your money on buying a SIM card. You won't need it and it won't work on most parts of the island. Then once you arrive in Jamestown, if you arrive on a Saturday, not so many places are open, but some of them they open again in the late afternoon or in the evening, so you can buy some food. At least one of the supermarkets did open in the late afternoon. For food, we did eat at Anne's place and at Mantis most of the time, and for noon we usually just took some picnic food with us because we were usually on trails. There is a supermarket which sells breads and all kind of stuff, so you can easily buy food for your hiking trails. That's not a problem. We arranged for the Mantis Hotel to pick us up and drop us off from the airport. You can also arrange your car hire from the airport, which is also absolutely fine. I highly recommend to rent a car because it gives you so much freedom to discover at your own pace. They do drive on the left. The roads are quite good as long as you stay on the main roads. Of course, if you want to do some off-roading, you will have to have a 4x4, but it's quite easily doable. And what I recommend is just to download Google Maps to have some offline map as well because you won't have Wi-Fi most of the places. So download the maps offline, and I'll try to give you some advice how to find some of the trails as well next part of the video. So as I said, you can also rent a car from the airport. The person will then drop it off there and you will pick it up there. You can then drive to Jamestown where most of the accommodations are. For us that was Mantis, which you can see now on the screen, which is basically on the main street. It has a very nice location across the Castle Gardens. There are some stuff to eat nearby. You have restaurants. So it has a very nice location. Also, there is a supermarket nearby, which is called the Star. They have limited opening hours, but it's a nice supermarket. They have some fresh bread as well. So it was our main supermarket to go for food. Across the Star supermarket is the tourist office. If you have any questions, you can also go there. They will book tours for you. If you want to visit Plantation House, for example, you need to book a tour. They will arrange it for you. If you have any question about whale shark excursions or visiting Longwood House, they will help you further in this office as well. So obviously you're gonna drive around of the island. Just be careful. Some areas cannot pass two cars, so you'll have to wait till another car passes. Plantation House, of course, is one of the main areas to see. Of course, the Boer Cemetery is also nice to visit. Some of the trails we did the Lemon Valley Trail. So we drove to a place around here, and you can park your car a little bit up of the trail because where the trail starts, you cannot park the car. And basically, you just do the hike all the way down the valley. It's a very beautiful hike, as you can even see it from Google Maps. You'll walk in between the trees all the way down through the valley till the sea. So that's a very nice trail to do. Then when you start driving around the center part of the island, there is the Clifford's Arboretum. It's not mentioned anywhere on a map here, but you can see it on the tourism map. You will just pass by there. Highly recommend to stop and take a look. It's very beautiful. It's around this area somewhere, but it's not on Google Maps. But definitely stop there once and take a look. It's very beautiful. And then, of course, you have High Peak, which is a very nice trail. And then here is Blue Hill, which has the Peakdale Trail. It goes down all the way from here. You have to walk this. You cannot do it by car. Maybe the 4x4 you would be able to do it, though, at least some part. This one, it connects back to the main road. So you will be basically back to a road where you can drive with a car. If someone picks you up, that's also an option. You can do only the trail in one way. From here, basically, you drive further, you will go to the Blue Point Trail. The only trick here was, which we didn't know, is that there is an off-road here, which you can see. It's not a road on Google Maps, but this is the road you have to take to Blue Point. So you will drive along this road here, you will park the car around there, and then from here you will start the trail. So this road is not on Google Maps, but it is there. So that's just to highlight where you have to start the trail, basically. Another nice trail is the Manatee Bay Trail, which is basically where you turn left to Blue Point. If you go straight, like this, and you will park the car around here, and then from there on you can do the Malati Bay trail. We didn't do that one, but I read it's a very nice trail as well to do. Fortunately, we didn't have enough time to go there. And then this area we went also. This is Thompson Valley. We didn't do the trail, but it looks very beautiful also. Again, if you want to do all the trails, you need more time than 1 week. High Peak Trail we did. You start the trail just behind High Peak. This one is a very easy trail, just half an hour up or so. Highly recommend it, but you have to have some nice weather to be able to have a good view from there. The last trail we want to talk about is the Lot's Wife's Pond Trail. You will park somewhere up of Sandy Bay, so you can drive almost till the beach, but the last part you cannot do with a regular car. And then basically you cross around the river bedding. It's important you don't walk along the big one, you cross to the small river bedding across, and then the trail will cross that one again, and it will take you up all the way in a zigzag kind of pattern on top of the first mountain, and then it will go over the different ridges all the way to Lot's Wife's Ponds. The views are very nice. I highly recommend to do this trail when the weather is good. Don't do this when it's raining or it's very windy. And it's a little bit more difficult as some parts you have to hold on to a rope, so you have to be a bit more careful if you are walking this trail. We also used a company called Dive St. Helena. We used this company to do our whale shark excursion. Basically, this is a kind of guest house, so you can stay, they have rooms, and they also do tours by boat, diving, and I believe he also rents out cars. You can contact them through the website. They will reply to you. Maybe again, it will take a little bit of time, but they are responding. At least they did respond to our requests. And we are very happy to do our tour with them. These are some of the costs for our stay in St. Helena. As you can see, most expensive were the flights, 1,600 euros for two for return fare from Johannesburg. For stay, 1,400 euros. You can find cheaper accommodations, of course, starting from, I believe, 50 or 60 euros per night. Rental car, 20 euros per day. That was quite reasonable. And the food seems to be roughly the same price as what you would find in Europe. So these are some of the prices for the activities we did. The whale sharks were 40 euros per person. That included already the snorkeling gear as well. Longwood House, that was about 10 euros, which was quite reasonable as well, I think. And then, of course, any hike is for free. So that's the best part. You can literally go anywhere for free on the island. I hope this video helps to plan your future stay on St. Helena. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. There are also a lot of Facebook groups from St. Helena with locals, so if you have any questions, you can always look them up on Facebook and ask your questions there. Thank you so much for watching our videos. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.